Hello everybody, welcome to the Redmen TV. It's the instant match reaction after Liverpool drew 1-1 away at West Ham on the Sky Sports Monday Night Football. I'm joined by Ross. It's 2 points dropped, isn't it, Ross? Another 2 points. Do you want to just sum up how you feel? I mean, I've written down on the agenda that it was just shit, but, you know, if you want to elaborate on that at all, you go for it.
Yeah, I think I've been quite hesitant at times to criticise this team. Not because I don't want to be someone that's the bandwagon of Twitter that's everything's negative, but like even before the game started, people questioned Lallana, who I didn't think was that great, but given the option that we've got off the bench, and there was no Genie, there was no Henderson, we missed Genie a lot. But this is the second game on the run now where you think penetration, motivation, and just some sort of like kick up the arse, you're not performing very well, and it doesn't seem to be anyone that's kind of taking that lead role. It's not even rushed. I just think that's part of the problem. It's like, I don't know, I can't explain it. We've gone from free flowing football. I know it happens sometimes when you take 2 or 3 players out when the rhythm and stuff's not there, but we've got some key quality players in there, and it's like they just look lost. I think you touched upon something there. I genuinely do think with each game that passes by where we don't have Genie Wijnaldum, we're being shown how much of a key player he is, because I mentioned before the Leicester game when we did the team news, Wijnaldum, the way he holds up the ball, the way he moves the ball along, he's actually what I thought Keita would be. And at the moment, I mean, maybe lacking a few goals, Wijnaldum still, but that's not necessarily his job. At the moment, we're not getting that when he's on the pitch. You know, Henderson does a different game with the tackling and stuff, but the way Wijnaldum has the ball, and it leads to us controlling the midfield. And the last few games, I mean, tonight and against Leicester, I don't feel like we have, and particularly tonight, I thought we just didn't seem to offer a lot. Going forward in midfield. No, I think that's partly with getting on Genie Wijnaldum. He allows Fabinho to play his best football as well, I think, because he sometimes is allowed to go forward a little bit more, knowing that Genie's behind him. And then Fabinho was on his own, and we saw the first couple of performances he put in for Liverpool, he was kind of lost, and he was out of his depth, and there's people passing him by. It's because Naby Keita was in front of him, particularly in the first half, and kind of left him to his own devices, and again, people were just going past him. But that's something that you need to kind of adapt to when you're playing these teams. The other thing that I thought was missing as well, which West Ham seemed to have, and even Leicester when we played them last week, was I'm not questioning the desire, but I want a bit of fight, a bit of needle about this team, especially when you're fighting for a title. I know it's different when we're sat watching the game and you kind of getting passionate, you kind of getting a bit of angry, but show people that you want to win the fucking ball for a start. I don't know if you have to go around and literally go and kick people, but have a bit of like character about you to go, actually, you know, fucking I'm having this fucking ball, because there's plenty of times tonight, Naby Keita in particular, I'm not gonna dig him out, but he was getting pushed off the ball for and I know he's little, I know he's dainty and stuff, but like when we analysed him before he came in, I thought he was the person who was a bit of a bastard and had a bit of needle about him, which we lacked last season. And I thought he was going to react to it, whereas it's actually Fabinho and Van Dijk have been doing it, and Andy Robertson in games. We're just being stifled by teams, but aren't showing like that aggression or that initiative to go and try and do something else.
Well, let's delve into the story of the game then. So West Ham started quite brightly. I think, you know, they had a few chances early on. You know, Alisson makes a save. Cresswell fires one wide, I think. And, you know, they seem to be on top, and then we score, and you think, okay, you know, we've done well there, you know, to take the lead against the run of play, and then the free kicks start. They had. Well, I mean, we're giving away far too many free kicks, if you ask me, in the first half anyway. But West Ham got pretty creative with the free kicks. And look, fair enough. We were playing a high line. They knew we were going to play a high line, and they were able to exploit that. And obviously, that's where the first goal comes from. It's a brilliant goal. It's a brilliant finish. From Antonio. You know, a very clever reverse run. Does well to time it. So that he's onside, and then he drags it across. You know, Alisson's got no chance really. Keita's being blocked off by Noble, so you know it's clearly all planned. They were just very intelligent with the runs. You know, they had another one not long after that where I think it took Bonner sort of coming in from behind, free kick being that was the third one. So you know they could have had. Well, I mean, the Rice one he should have scored. They possibly should have been 2-1 up at half time. They knew, again, like you say, they'd done the homework. They knew how to get us, and we were lucky really to go in at 1-1. And then the second half, I mean, the Virgil one where he goes through and it kind of falls to him in the box after a free kick, I think. But I can't think of, I mean, the Origi one right off the end. But I can't think of too many chances that we really created where really we could have genuinely won the game 2-1. Salah had a half chance, but correct me if I'm wrong, but it felt like we'd run out of ideas at one point.
Yeah, that's what I mean of going, we should be used to teams setting up, as I know I joked about it before we were watching the game, of doing a 4-6 formation or whatever. But we just don't seem to have runners in deep that are going in behind it. They were doing it with set pieces, obviously done the homework and worked us out. So you can have 3 people that are offside. I know you pointed out during the game that Rice was the one who was coming in from deep and getting onto the ball. But we need to start doing that when we're playing. I know it's a risk when you got a gamble go putting people forward. But if Mo Salah's got 2 people on him, Firmino's got 2 people on him, and Mane's got 2 people, you need to have that extra commitment or take that gamble somewhere, because you're not going to get a chance for anywhere else. We don't really have anyone. Let's a Gerard Alonso or even Chamberlain that can go and twat one from 25, 30 yards in our team. There's just no one in there that can go and do that.
It's not anybody's locker, is it?
And it's not our style of play, just have pot shots left, right and centre. No, Andy Robertson may have had one when he got through, could have passed.
Got a bit excited.
Yeah, and it's just, maybe it's even decision making at some point. And I don't know, I don't think it's anything to do with the pressure on the title, to be honest with you. I think that's just, it's in-game management and it's not coming off. And again, that's saying, I'm not saying Naby Keita's unsettled the team, but you're trying to compensate for someone else who's got a different style of play or hasn't been in that system or rhythm that Gini Ronaldo's been in. You know where you are, you know where you're at. With Gini or a Henderson in there, I was playing 2 in a deep midfield, but then against a West Ham team that were resilient and did the homework, and I thought they fought for it more.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Look, we don't want to make too many excuses, I suppose, but obviously one of the big things tonight is that we were missing a lot of players. One of those, obviously, at the back, Joe Gomez and Trent have been out for a while now, and we saw Milner there at right back again tonight. Again, I thought he struggled because he just doesn't have the pace. He's even lost a yard of pace, it looks like, from when he was playing left back 2 years ago, because obviously that's just what happens. He's a couple of years older. I don't know exactly how old he is now, but he's early 30s, isn't he? So he's definitely gonna, it's to be expected to lose that yard of pace. And Felipe Anderson, I mean, for some reason he was voted West Ham's man of the match as he came off. I don't think he was that good, but he definitely caused him a few problems by getting him in behind. Cresswell did the same, overlapping. There were quite a few balls, there were quite a few moments where all of us were a bit like, well, where is James Milner? It just feels like there's a bit more of the old Liverpool in the mix, because we're using rotated players, and my point is really just the very simple of, we need Trent and Gomez back as soon as possible. And you know what, Gomez has had surgery today, and I know it's going to be a little while, but it's glaringly obvious that we aren't going to be quite the same side that we've seen before Christmas until both of those players return.
Yeah, and it's an obvious target for oppositions as well, because
Absolutely.
Leicester did it, and you think of any weak point of Andy Robertson's. Even when he's having a bad day, he's still pretty good, isn't he? And then you look at James Milner, you got Anderson with pace. All you got to do is to give the ball to him, and even with Milner's bombing forward, that's one of Trent's best bits. If he can get up and down that wing, but that's one of our outlets. Is saying have the overlap and have someone. Well, he scored a few goals. Milner set up someone the other week, didn't he? Going around the back and then cutting it back in. But that wasn't coming off, and then he leaves himself open. But then if you've got that 2 deep in midfield, well, you've got Gini covering one side and Fabinho going on the other side, but you can't when it's just Fabinho. He can't be everywhere in the pitch, and that's the reason why Shaqiri hasn't started, because Klopp doesn't like his defensive play sometimes. He's not all switched on to go and doing it. I think we're expecting a lot from Milner, but again, like you said, it's the best of a bad situation when you've got so many injuries. Yeah, which is why some people are pissed off we didn't go in the market and go and get a
well, right, I mean, again, there'll be more questions asked about Nathaniel Klein. He's I wasn't too bothered at the time. But obviously that was before. I think it was before Trent got injured that he was loaned out. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know, but I think it was around the 12th, 13th of January that Trent got injured, that Brighton game. So at the time I wasn't too bothered when Klein went out, but particularly because I reckon he was probably asking to go as well, given the game time he was getting. But at the end of the day, now with the glorious gift of hindsight, I suppose, if you're Jurgen Klopp, you actually need to be saying to him, look, you're contracted to this club, we're in a title race, we need the squad depth, you need to be staying in until the summer and we move you on,
and just wait till the end of January.
Yeah,
as in everything gets to last day of January maybe, and then go see that. And again, hindsight's a wonderful thing, but I said the same thing when we spoke about other shows before about, you know, even like the likes of Origi, keep him. Be selfish and go, well, okay, not the best example today, but if you're 2-3 up in a game, you want to give Bobby a rest, take him off.
Well, I don't actually think Origi was too bad today.
No, I thought.
I've actually written down. I actually thought Origi offered more than Firmino when he came on. Yeah. I don't know if that's an unpopular opinion. I mean, we're not in a room with too many people, but you know, I feel like Firmino's passing. It was lackadaisical. Yeah. He seemed unfocused. Another one, you know, Salah was quiet, but the bits he did okay. When Firmino was actually on the ball, I mean, I'd love to see his pass completion rate, because it was just always just lazy, or, you know, 5 yards off. I don't know. It just felt off target.
Frustrating,
unorientated.
Yeah, frustrating was how I'd sum that whole game up, to be honest. Because when you get into the final third, and you're thinking it's fine lines, it's margins, but then that's when you want that quality to kind of create something. And normally you look for Firmino to go and do that. He was like a little trick or flick and something. He's normally always on it. And again, I thought today when Shaqiri was coming off, I thought he could easily take Firmino off here, because he just wasn't performing. But then sometimes you rely on, if Firmino's not on it, Salah have a good game, or Mane have a good game. It's never like kind of all three of them. But then again, teams are playing a 4-6 formation, defending resiliently, and sometimes you have to give them credit, isn't it? As annoying as it is. West Ham defended well.
No, they did. West Ham are very good today.
We should have the quality to go and turn them over.
No, especially with the side we put out, you know, and this is the thing. Leicester did the same, and it'll be frustrating because West Ham will go out and play another big side. You know, where I'm sure they've got to play City again, and they'll just roll over. You know, Leicester did the same at the weekend with Man United. They just rolled over, but when you're in a title race, you've got to expect teams to be stubborn, and
that's what I'm talking about. That needle and aggression. I think that we lacked. And you said, like, you know, lackadaisical, not concentrated, and it was kind of huffed on, puffed away to the end of the game. It wasn't, you know, you got to win stuff.
I'm not sure. I mean, I'm just trying to think. No, we've not got any Liverpool fans in the side. I think that might be a difference. You know, tonight. You know, if you have Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain in there, who's got an extra little connection to the club.
Oh, yeah, or Trent.
You know what I mean? Or Trent. I think that could make a difference.
But again, you rely on leaders to do that in your team as well.
I know. But I think, you know, I know. I'm not saying that they didn't put everything in. I'm not. But I feel like, you know, if you're someone like Oxlade-Chamberlain, you give 102, 103% rather than just 100. And I feel like we lacked any players tonight who were going to put in 103% rather than just 100. You know, it leaves us 2 points. It leaves us 3 points clear of Man City. They're going to go a game ahead of us on Wednesday when they go to Everton. Check out the clip from the Around the League podcast. We talked about back to Baz from Toffee TV about that today on the Around the League. Me and Ross. Sorry, it's getting late.
It's past your bedtime.
It's well past my bedtime. So you know, check out that video. So look, we're going to expect Everton to lose there. So come Wednesday night, City are going to be top of the league on goal difference, but we've got a game in hand. Now, for me, the encouraging thing here is that this is our first real dip. I think this is the first time that we dropped points consecutively all season. Mm-hmm. City had their dip and they were losing games. We're drawing. So for me, that's what I'm taking at the moment. Even though we're having a dip, we can just, even if we go and draw, I mean, I would expect us to beat Bournemouth at home on Saturday, and then we've got a nice break until Bayern. But as long as the games that we're not winning, I know it sounds daft, but as long as we're still picking up points, the odd point here and there may still be key when it comes to There's still 13 games to go.
Yeah, there is a long way to go in this thing. That's probably the other frustrating thing about tonight, was dropping points at Leicester. I'm looking for some sort of reaction from the players.
Yeah, that's very true.
And for me, just didn't feel like that.
Didn't feel like that at all.
But I know you take your point of going saying, 1 point's better than none, I suppose, isn't it? Which is fine.
If you win the league by a couple of points at the end of the season, you go, well, you know, we easily could have lost that West Ham game to Declan Rice's header. We easily could have, you know, Damari Gray has a late chance at Leicester.
Well.
You know, and City have lost to Leicester. They've lost to Newcastle. You know what I mean? And
frustration is the overall riding word, isn't it? Because
it is.
City dropped points at Newcastle and thinking, right, we can overtake there. But if you look before Christmas, we were far behind City and managed to open up that gap. Well, what's to say it doesn't happen another 2-3 times between now and the end of the season?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's feasible, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and we've got a long way to go, and we've just got to Ride it out, as they say.
I might be 40 by the end of the season.
No, yeah, I mean, so will I. I'll catch up to you. So yeah, we'll wrap it up there. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Those who have, I've been Ben Kelly. This has been Ross Chanley for the Redmen TV and the Instant Match Reaction. We will be back. Well, somebody will be back after Bournemouth for the Instant Match Reaction there. And we'll see you next time. Goodbye.